as a community. So I will just be reading some words I prepared and like also going into this a little bit. But Ameren has been stealing from the people for years now. In the middle of COVID-19, while we were losing our jobs, our homes, and our family members, their CEO, Warner L. Baxter, made $10 million in 2020, in a time where many Illinoisans and Black Illinoisans were made to suffer. The national unemployment rate had reached 14.7 in 2020. We haven't seen that level of unemployment since the Great Depression. And of course, who was suffering the most, going unreported or unacknowledged, was Black and Indigenous people. That was us. Black, Indigenous, and brown people, that was us. Unemployment rate in Illinois as of March 2021 was 7.1. A $3 rate hike per kilowatt may not sound like a lot right now, but in times like these, your bills will tell you different. Our bills are telling us different of Ameren's true intentions, and they're out for an energy monopoly, and we can't let them have it. They are an exploitative company, and they will keep stealing from the Black communities. They will keep hiking those rates to line their own pockets. CEJA is for the people and by the people. It has 4 crucial pillars to make transforming communities just like Carbondale all over the state into a place of equity where everyone, especially Black and brown communities, can come into equity. We want to reach 100% renewable energy by 2050, eliminate carbon power sector by 2030 and electrify public transportation, and hold utility companies accountable. And all of this is rooted in equitable economic recovery for Black and brown communities, since we are affected the most and very disproportionately by climate crisis. Climate crisis is real, and the environmental racism is just another flank of violence towards Black people, towards Indigenous communities, towards Hispanic and Latinx communities, and all other BIPOC communities in Carbondale. We have a lot to gain here, but if we miss out now, we miss out on a huge opportunity to fix a lot of issues in Carbondale that, I think a lot of us look around, we've been sitting in these issues in Carbondale. We've been sitting here watching our leadership invest and not cater to the youth. We don't have leaders who invest in the success of their youth. And we don't have leaders who invest in the success of their Black youth. And that's a huge problem. So I want to help transform Carbondale into a place that truly invests in the success and well-being of all who live here. The COVID rates are spiking with new variants, and we're continuing down a path of economic unpredictability. But all that Ameren cares about is exploiting us, even when we are low, even when we're being killed in the streets, even when our children and loved ones are dying, even when we have to say goodbye to our loved ones through a wall of glass, and these selfish, exploitative companies want to keep taking from us, we are already losing so much. Having to exist daily in the trauma of being Black, and having to worry about how literally there is someone on every flank who is trying to take away and exploit the magic of Black communities. Because they know that we popping. But we have to be popping for ourselves. We have to show up for ourselves. We have to bring equity into our communities here. We have to prevent things from happening before they get here. Because I'm looking around and looking at all these affluent neighborhoods and looking at the Black communities, and I'm noticing some serious differences. I'm noticing some serious inequities. And I'm noticing that we are way over policed as compared to these affluent neighborhoods over here who have a lot of crime going down, actually. And they're looking at us like we're the villains. We're not the villains. We are not villains. We are people. We are human beings. And we have to reassert that and stand up for our equity in our communities. And I don't want us to be looked at as a resource by these big companies, these big energy companies, and all of these big entities as a resource to be exploited or something to be killed, or as anything less than humans deserving of respect and equity that we have, quite frankly, built for this country, and we have just been enjoying none of it. So I would like y'all to get on board, join in with CEJA. I'm in Sunrise. This is a youth movement because the youth is what will bring change. Climate crisis will affect us the most, and it will affect Black people the most. It affects Black people globally and locally the most. We are a frontline community, and when they are redlining our neighborhoods, putting us next to toxic coal plants, Coppersfield plant, trucking in Black bodies to be exploited for this labor while we are exploited, underpaid, and continuing to get killed with biofuel and coal and being put in these awful conditions that, of course, white folks and rich white folks are not being put in. We have to bring that equity in for ourselves, and we can do that while combating the climate crisis. We can bring equity into our communities through solar and through climate solutions. It has to be us, because no one else is going to do it. No one else is going to stand up for us the way that we need to stand up for ourselves. It's always been up to the Black community to be there for ourselves, and we always have had to do that. And now it's no different. We have to continue that pattern so we can stop a pattern from carrying out onto future generations. we're sitting here living in a struggle that we don't want to see our future generations living in. And we have to actually put that effort to tangibly manifest what we want to see, the future we want to live in, the world we want to create for people, our people. So, yeah, we have until May 31st to pass EJA, and you can always find me through Sunrise, Sunrise Movement Carbondale at Gmail. You can also go on the Sunrise Movement Facebook page to get involved in CEJA, Aces for Youth. Yeah, we'll be out here, so thank you.
Thank you so much, AJ, for everything. So again, she's a part of Sunrise. We have members of Carbondale Women's Center, Carbondale United, so many other organizations. At this time, I also see my brothers of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, 06. Does anyone else from any organization would like to come and represent themselves, or does anyone have anything on their heart that they want to say? All right, Brother Cordy Love, let's give him a round of applause as he comes. This is Naomi Love's father. And then, after he speaks, I will give a conclusion and we will turn on the music because this is a celebration.
Thank you, Matthew, I appreciate it. Hey, I just want to say thank y'all for coming out. It's really cool to see the youth out there. I'm a black man from Chicago, and coming down to Southern Illinois was a kind of a culture shock to me. And really what's going on with our world today, it's so big, and you guys have such an impact on things that you can really do. So really understand your voice is impactful. I do talk about Naomi about, you have to have a seat at the table because you have to make those laws, right? And if we're not at that table to make those laws and those changes and those things, it won't happen. So again, always use your voice, bring people together, and I thank y'all so much for just coming out and doing this. I truly do appreciate it. Matthew?
It's okay. I thought you was about to say something, Julian. Well, again, everyone, on behalf of the Soul Unity Coalition, we want to thank you all for joining us today. It means so much to just see so many people come out and honor George Floyd. So again, let's give yourselves a round of applause. But don't leave just yet, because us black people love music, so we getting ready to turn up. I see an electric slide coming on somewhere, some way. So anyway, let's go ahead. We have more water, and take this opportunity to meet one another, network with each other, because we will be back continuing to march and continuing to fight for justice all the time. This is our Southern Illinois family.
Also, if you want to stand by the street so you can raise awareness to why we are out here today, feel free to do that with the flags. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you at our next event.
Yes, yes. Go back to the street if we can.